And why I just tweeted this out before I went live. You know, I'm signed up for all the candidates' email lists, whether I like them or not, because I want to see what they're sending out. Joe Biden, I mean, don't get me wrong, Bernie's campaign sends out plenty of emails, mostly for money. But Joe Biden has sent out, by my count, 6 emails in the last 3 days asking for money. 2 in the last 5 hours. I mean, look at this. He sent one at 9:48 this morning. Oh, that's 4:15. Sent one 4:14 this afternoon. Nowhere else to turn. Give me $5. And 9:48 this morning. And several of the emails that he's sending, or his campaign is sending, are saying they're surging. Well, if you're surging, why are you sending out 2 emails within 5 hours? Why are you sending out 6 emails in 3 days? Jen, who does our email marketing, by the way, if you have not signed up for Status Coup's email list, you're missing out. That's how we grow. Jen, is that, if you're surging, would you need to send out 6 emails in 3 days? Would you send out 2 emails within 5 hours? You're an email marketer. Doesn't seem right to me. What do you think, Jen? Let us know in the super chat. So, all of this is going on. I told you this yesterday. It's very likely that Joe Biden is doing this because his internal polling, polling is showing he's doing even worse in Iowa and possibly New Hampshire than the public polls are showing. So you got Bernie on the attack. You got Bernie's, stuck in Washington with this impeachment trial, but he's still got Michael Moore is out on the campaign trail for him. John Cusack has been out on the campaign trail for him. You got Nina Turner, Cornel West. I mean, he's got a lot of high-profile people in the next 2 weeks before Iowa out there for him. So I totally why they are doing it from a marketing campaign standpoint. You missed a word. Is it I totally see why. Oh, okay. Because I think, to me, if I'm reading that, this guy's desperate and I'm not giving him my money. Putting aside that I don't like him. If they're sending out 2 emails within 5 hours, to me, that's not cool, good marketing. That's something else. Maybe like the day before Iowa or the day of, but that's a lot of emails in a 3-day period. So all of this coming, sorry to steal the Hills graphic. We just don't have anyone to make the graphic right now. This is coming when a new CNN poll just came out showing Bernie Sanders in the lead for the first time in CNN's SSRS poll. 27-24. Warren, the frontal attack, the stabbing from the front that Elizabeth Warren did on her friend Bernie Sanders seemed not only to not work, but to backfire spectacularly. This is what happens when you jump off Wokeback Mountain and try to attack your allies. It just doesn't ever work out. So you got Warren very far back. I haven't seen her that far back in a national poll in a while. You got Buttigieg, 11%. Bloomberg, 5%. That charismatic Amy Klobuchar, as the New York Times called her, and we're going to get to the New York Times. I couldn't do it yesterday, but I'm going to do it today. 4%. Yang, 4%. Inside the CNN poll, I mean, this tells the story. CNN, October, Biden at 34. November, 28. December, 26. 24. Now, opposite. Bernie, 16 in October. 17. 20. 27. That is a stark decline. And I want to be consistent here. CNN, I've had issues with their polling because they wildly undersample. They undersample younger voters. But I looked at this poll, and this poll actually had more cell phone. No, they contacted more people with cell phones than landlines. That indicates to me they contacted more people under the age of 50. Well, what do you know? When they actually do polling and try to get a decent or close to equal number of people that they're polling under 50 versus over 50, Bernie Sanders does incredibly well. But there are 2 pollsters in particular that this whole campaign season, because Jen and I have looked at the polling significantly, are known for oversampling older voters. That's Monmouth University, and that's Quinnipiac. So, Bernie doing very well in that CNN poll. Biden, as you could see, that's a 10-point decline from October to now, the national polls. And that is the last vice president to a popular Democratic president. He's still popular, Obama. So I keep hearing, Biden's the most electable, he's the most popular. Well, everything that's coming out in the last few days indicates the opposite. Not only do you have that poll, Newsweek story right here. A new poll just came out showing head-to-heads against Donald Trump. Well, what do you know? Bernie Sanders has the biggest lead against Donald Trump. Survey USA asked 4,069 registered voters nationwide. Trump versus the Democratic candidates. Bernie, 52 to 43, up 9 points. Biden, up 7 points. Why this is so important? Yes, Biden is up, but it shows Bernie Sanders in a better position than Biden. Guess what? In 2016, it was the same exact story. Bernie Sanders, head-to-head against Donald Trump, was beating Donald Trump by a larger margin than Hillary Clinton. But you know what we heard? Well, the media hasn't laid a glove on Bernie Sanders. Oh, the opposition research, they haven't even started with the opposition research yet on Bernie Sanders. I don't care what the head-to-head polls say now. In 2016, Hillary, the polling, I don't care that Bernie's doing better. He won't win. Hillary would win. Same exact thing we're hearing now about Joe Biden. The only difference is Joe Biden is actually a worse candidate than Hillary Clinton. At least Hillary Clinton could construct sentences fully. At least she wasn't sniffing little children's hair. At least she wasn't going like, woo, to reporters. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And by the way, be careful what you wish for, Democrats, because I got news for you. If the Democrats get to call witnesses for this impeachment hearing, I'm telling you, there's going to be either Hunter Biden or other people called that make Joe Biden look very bad. It might not matter for the impeachment hearing, but it's going to matter politically because Trump is an expert at canceling out his own corruption by pointing out others. That's what he did to Hillary Clinton. That's what he will do to Joe Biden. He's not going to be able to do that to Bernie Sanders because Bernie Sanders isn't corrupt. That came out among black voters. 56% of African Americans said they'd consider voting for Bernie Sanders. Basically a tie. 54% said the same about Biden. It's always interesting to me. If Biden is up by 2 points, they say Biden's in the lead. When Bernie is up, statistical tie. It's the same thing with CNN. They're saying Bernie Sanders joins Joe Biden in the lead, even though he's up 3 points. Yes, it's within the statistical, margin of error. But the framing and how they say it, they give Joe Biden the lead, even if it's within the margin of error. When it's Bernie Sanders, not so much. So let me get this straight. Joe Biden's main electoral argument is, I'm more electable than Donald Trump. Well, polls, I'm more electable to beat Donald Trump than anybody else. Polls are indicating otherwise. I'm doing better among black voters. A lot of polls do show that. Now polls are showing black voters are considering Bernie just as much. Frankly, I think the black voters that are senior citizen African Americans definitely are paying attention to this stuff with Biden. I think Bernie's campaign should go a little further and say Biden tried to do this while he was vice president of Barack Obama. So I think this electability argument is falling apart. And it's going to be interesting. I think it's a little too good to be true. I'm waiting. Joe Biden is talking about all his record is taken out of context and all this stuff. I'm very much waiting for the communism stuff. I think they're going to drop that lickety-split because Elizabeth Warren's thing didn't make a dent. She fell back. He did not. Now you have Hillary Clinton comes out doing this. It backfired to the point where she came out later in the day because she was getting so much fire at her, even from establishment people, for her saying Bernie's awful and I don't know if I'll support him. She came out walking that back. So the sexism stuff has not worked. Bernie's Social Security stuff seems to be working. So what are they going to do next? I think they're going to go with the communism stuff. I'm pretty sure you're going to start to see news articles. Bernie Sanders and, had strong admiration for Fidel Castro. I'm pretty sure you're going to be seeing news articles. Bernie Sanders had very nice things to say about the Soviet Union. I'm just letting you know. It's coming. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.